on, guys, and welcome back to Clever's Multiverse. And yep, it's that time of year again. Here we go when we're making our top 10 list. And this year is going to be a little bit different for me because I feel like 2024 was a really stellar year for Marvel Legends. So, what I'm going to run off with this time first is the worst Marvel Legends of 2024. And when I say that, I'm just saying that it didn't keep up, or these figures didn't keep up with everything else that I saw coming out in the lineup for 2024. This list was a lot easier to make because the top 10 is going to take a little longer because we had so many good legends. But, for this one, I'm not even going to do 10. I think I only came across 8 that I was really not feeling like that. And when I say that is because a lot of the other figures that I saw, even if I didn't like them, I can understand that somebody else may need these figures and they weren't horrible figures. So these are the figures that I thought to myself, like, who's really checking for these? Like, I don't think anybody should be checking for these figures right here. So, with that being said, here goes the rundown. Starting off with number 8, and it sucks for Spider-Man to be on this list because he is definitely one of my favorite characters. But I think that we can all agree that this Iron Spider has been done to death. And although this is a re-release of probably a re-release of probably a re-release, this was dropped in 2024. This figure right now is currently peg warming at my Walmart and has been for, I want to say, the past 6 months, 7 months. This is not moving at all. I don't know anybody who's checking for this. I don't understand what collector is going to need this figure from, like, what, this is like 10 years ago right here. And it's been overdone so many times. I can't believe that they dropped this again in 2024, especially with the amount of figures that we've been having, the lineups that we've been having. There was no need for this. Like, they could have just dropped everything else they've been dropping, left this off the list, and nobody would have cared. Like, who's really checking for this Iron Spider right now? I'm not really sure, but there's a reason why this guy's peg warming. Number 7 is going to Superior Iron Man. And not for nothing, I remember when this was first released, I was like, wow, what a waste, man. Like, I don't really see somebody checking for this. This is not even like true to form. This is not even the real color from the comic books. I feel like this figure is done like really whack. It's really plain. It's really like just not needed in my collection. The only people that I could see needing this figure is somebody trying to do an Iron Man Hall of Armor that is going to religiously buy just whatever Iron Man you throwing out there. This is for that guy, because anybody other than that, I don't really see anybody checking for this right here. If I'm not mistaken, this is also the only figure that didn't come with a Build-A-Figure in the wave, so you wouldn't even have to buy him for that reason, you know what I mean? So I think that's another reason why a lot of people may not have picked this figure up, but yeah, in my opinion, this figure is totally unnecessary. I know Tony Stark is one of the greats, Iron Man is one of the greats, and people love him, but this costume right here, I could really do without. And number 6, and here's where the controversy and the dislikes start coming in. But it is what it is. And I'm gonna have to give it to the Black Wolverine from this double pack because in my opinion, I feel like if anybody bought this double pack, it was for the Psylocke that came with it. This year was super heavy on Wolverine releases. I mean, from the top of the year, well, we had 3 or 4 double packs that we started the year off with. Not to mention the Deadpool, the Wolverine movies, Astonishing Wolverine. We had a lot of Wolverine releases. But this is one of the most lackluster ones out of all of them. I mean, I have a few Wolverine. I have a lot of Wolverines, but I don't want this Wolverine. I don't know anybody that's checking for this Wolverine. The head sculpt on this Wolverine sucks. Both of them do. The costume sucks. Everything about this figure right here is, to me, the worst. I mean, unless you're just a die-hard Wolverine fan, then yeah, I get it. But I'm not that guy. I'm not going to buy Wolverine just because you put him out. This Wolverine right here is going to make the list. I'm sorry, guys, but he's just the worst. Number 5 is going to Venom from the Let There Be Carnage wave. And this was disappointing for a couple of reasons. I mean, first of all, this is the same exact figure that we already got with the first Venom movie. Like, come on, man. What are we doing here? All they did was plug in some little symbiote sections in the back, and that's it. This is the same exact figure. Why are we doing that? I mean, at least with Carnage. Carnage was different, and that was a Venom movie. So how does Carnage get a brand new figure when he's like a supporting character? He's the villain, but the main character from the movie doesn't get a new figure? Come on, you can't be serious. Like, how many people was out there really saying, yo, I need to get the same exact figure again? What a waste. And the thing is, like I said, 2024, Hasbro was putting out some really good figures, some really good legends. So I don't even know why they would waste their time with this. And if you was gonna do something for the Venom movie, I just feel like it should have been something brand new. Number four is gonna have to go to Wolverine from the Deadpool Legacy Collection. And can somebody just remind me, maybe I missed it in the movie, but where did he have this costume on at all? Like, not for nothing. I have never seen him in this costume in the movies, right? So the whole point of having these figures is to bring back to life or to recreate what we saw in the movies. And I never saw this. This is a very unnecessary figure, very unneeded, and it was kind of hard to come by. So it was like, I don't really understand why people were checking for this in the first place. I don't understand why they released this. This was a total waste, in my opinion, as well, because they could have made a whole bunch more of the yellow costume Wolverines that everybody was checking for instead of coming off with something like this. I mean, that's just my opinion. 2024 was a very good year for Wolverine, but it was also a very bad year for Wolverine because, as you can see, he got a couple of spots on this list. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I got to call it how I see it. This is one of the figures that I'm really good off of. Hitting the number three spot, and it's gonna go to Iron Man LXXXV, man, whatever. This is another re-release of another re-release of another re-release that we could have really done without. This figure right now is currently peg warming right next to Iron Spider. Ain't nobody checking for these figures right here. Even if you had your Hall of Armor and you're trying to build that up, you should have had this figure years ago. You know, every time they waste production making re-releases of figures that we already have, that's a figure that we could have had that we don't have, which is why I do not appreciate when they come out with these figures just like this. So yeah, the number three spot is gonna go to Iron Man L whatever. You get the message. And the number two spot is another one that people probably gonna have a problem with. But you know what? It is what it is. The only one that I wanted from this double pack was Lalandra. But I refuse to buy that Brood Wolverine. I just can't. I just can't. That's a horrible Wolverine. I'm not interested in having a Brood section. I'm pissed off that this came off in a double pack. And once again, like I said, Wolverine's having a great year, but he's having a horrible year too. This is not a figure that I want in my collection. This is not aesthetically pleasing to me. I don't know. I'm just not feeling this at all. I remember the minute I saw this announced early last year or late, 2023, when I saw this was coming out, I was like, damn, man, why they gonna put Lalandra with this guy right here? Because I really want Lalandra for my Phoenix Saga section. But this Wolverine, I just can't do it. I can't justify spending $50 on this double pack, especially when he dropped with like three other double packs at the same time. And we was all gunning for Sabretooth. So number two is going to Brood Wolverine. And the number one spot on my list for today of the worst Marvel Legends of 2024 is gonna have to go to Wolverine from the from the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. I mean, yo, I get it. I'm not a Wolverine hater, guys. I am not a Wolverine hater. I love Wolverine. But these Wolverines are all the worst, man. I don't care what nobody tells me, man. Am I the only one that wanted to get this figure just so I can get the accessory? I wanted Headpool. That's it. That's the only thing people are checking for in this box. Once again, where did this costume come from? When did he rock this jacket? When did he rock those shoes? When did he rock those pants? Like, come on, guys. Where did this come from? It's like at this point, they're just like, yo, put Wolverine in pajamas and just put him out there. Pop his claws in pajamas and they'll buy it, whatever. So it gets me to the point that I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna buy whatever you talking about, man. So this this figure right here was all about Headpool. That's the only reason that I could see anybody picking up this figure. So there you have it. Those are my top 8 worst Marvel Legends of 2024. I mean, 2024 was a great year, and I'm about to start doing my top 10 Marvel Legends of 2024, and that's going to be a list that I'm really looking forward to because there was so many good releases. I'm kind of curious as to how that's all going to play out, you know what I mean? So with that being said, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I hope you spend the time with your family, having a good time, and I thank you for sharing this time with me going through this list. Until next time. Peace.